Man, I still remember that exact moment. December 2020. I was sitting in my beat-up Honda Civic, scrolling through YouTube during my lunch break, when this ad popped up. Make $500 a day with Bitcoin passive income. I mean, who doesn't want that, right? $500 a day doing basically nothing. I was making maybe $40,000 a year at my warehouse job, barely scraping by. My crypto story was about to begin, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into. You know what? I should have closed that damn video right then and there. But I didn't. The guy in the ad looked legit. Expensive suit, nice watch, talking about how Bitcoin investment changed his life. The cryptocurrency market never sleeps, he said. While you're working your 9 to 5, your Bitcoin is making you money. I watched that thing 3 times during my lunch break. 3 times. My coworker Danny was like, "Dude, what are you watching?" And I just closed my phone, embarrassed. But that night, I couldn't stop thinking about it. $500 a day. That's more than I made in a week at the warehouse. Look, I wasn't some tech genius or anything. I barely knew what Bitcoin was beyond hearing people talk about it on Reddit. Cryptocurrency seemed like this mysterious world where crypto millionaires were made overnight, and honestly, I felt like I was missing out on something huge. The warehouse job was killing me. Same routine every day. Wake up at 5 a.m., clock in, move boxes for 8 hours, clock out, go home exhausted. My back hurt constantly. My boss was a jerk. The pay was garbage. But what choice did I have? I dropped out of college after 2 years because I couldn't afford it. No degree, no special skills, just a guy who could lift heavy things and follow simple instructions. My buddy Mark kept talking about Bitcoin investment opportunities. He'd show me these charts on his phone, pointing at these crazy green lines shooting up. "Dude, the crypto market is insane right now," he'd say. "People are making fortunes." Mark worked at Best Buy, making even less than me, but he acted like he was some kind of financial expert. Still, those charts looked pretty convincing. I was skeptical, but desperate too. My rent was going up, my car needed repairs, and I had maybe $300 in my savings account. $300. That's it. At 32 years old, that's all I had to show for my life. My mom kept asking when I was going to figure things out. My dad would make these comments about how I needed to apply myself more. Easy for him to say. He bought his house for $30,000 in 1985. So when that YouTube ad promised passive income through some revolutionary Bitcoin trading system, something clicked. Maybe this was my shot. Maybe this was how I'd finally prove everyone wrong. The video was slick, I'll give them that. This guy in an expensive suit, standing in front of luxury cars, talking about his cryptocurrency journey. How he went from broke to making millions through automated Bitcoin trading. "The blockchain doesn't sleep," he said. "While you're sleeping, your Bitcoin is working for you." Man, that sounded amazing. He showed screenshots of his trading dashboard, thousands of dollars flowing in every day. Bitcoin rise and fall patterns that his AI system could predict with 90% accuracy. I watched that video 3 times that night. Then I went down this massive rabbit hole of crypto content. YouTube videos, Reddit posts, Instagram stories of people showing off their crypto gains. Everyone was making money except me. There was this one guy, couldn't have been older than 25, posting screenshots of his Coinbase account. 6 figures from Bitcoin trading. He was living in Miami, driving a Tesla, dating models. Meanwhile, I was eating ramen noodles for dinner and calculating whether I could afford gas to get to work. The next day, I signed up for their free webinar. 2 hours of this same guy explaining crypto trading strategies, showing more screenshots, more success stories. He talked about market volatility. It was a good thing. Volatility creates opportunity, he said. The crypto market rewards those who understand it. At the end, he offered his exclusive Bitcoin investment course for just $97. Limited time offer. Only 50 spots available. $97. What's $97 if it could change my life, right? I used my credit card, the one I was supposed to keep for emergencies. The course was actually pretty solid. Videos about Bitcoin basics, how cryptocurrency works, market analysis, technical indicators, all that stuff. I spent weeks watching everything, taking notes like I was back in school. For the first time in years, I felt excited about something. Like I was learning a skill that could actually matter. The instructor talked about different Bitcoin investment strategies. Day trading, swing trading, hodling. But the real money maker, according to him, was leverage trading. Using borrowed money to amplify your gains. If Bitcoin goes up 10% and you're using 10-to-1 leverage, you make 100% profit, he explained. That's how the crypto millionaires do it. He made it sound so simple. Buy low, sell high. Use leverage to maximize gains. The blockchain technology was making traditional finance obsolete, and early adopters were getting rich. I started with paper trading first. Fake money, real market conditions. And you know what? I was actually pretty good at it. My fake portfolio was up like 40% in 2 weeks. I was reading charts, understanding support and resistance levels, feeling like I was getting the hang of this whole crypto thing. The Bitcoin fail stories I'd heard about seemed like they happened to people who didn't know what they were doing. People who didn't study the market, who didn't understand the technology. But I was different. I was learning the system. I spent hours watching YouTube videos about crypto trading. I joined Discord servers where people shared their strategies. I followed crypto influencers on Twitter who posted their successful trades. Everyone was making money. Everyone except me, because I was still using fake money. But I was learning. I was preparing. I was going to do this right. By March 2021, I couldn't take it anymore. Bitcoin was rallying hard, hitting new all-time highs almost every week. I was watching from the sidelines while everyone else was making money. My paper trading account was up like 60%. If I had been using real money, I would have made thousands of dollars. Thousands. While I was moving boxes for $12 an hour, I started with $500, half my savings, but I figured I'd start small, be responsible about it. I wasn't going to be one of those people who lost everything because they got greedy. I downloaded Coinbase, went through the verification process, linked my bank account. My heart was pounding when I made my first Bitcoin investment. $500 at $55,000 per Bitcoin. My first trade was beautiful. I bought in at $55,000, and 2 days later Bitcoin was at $58,000. I was up $80 in 2 days. That's more than I made in a day at the warehouse, but I didn't sell. The course taught me to hold for bigger gains. Don't chase pennies when dollars are waiting, the instructor always said. Bitcoin kept going up. 59,000, 60,000, 61,000. You know what I did? I reinvested everything. $580 became my new starting point. Then I added another $200 from my next paycheck. The next week, I was up to $700, then $900. By the end of March, I had turned my original $500 into $1,200. Man, I felt like a genius. I had figured out some secret code that everyone else was missing. This is where things got crazy. I was checking my phone every 5 minutes, watching those green and red candles on the Bitcoin chart. The crypto market never sleeps, remember? Neither did I. I'd wake up at 3 a.m. to check Asian markets. I'd sneak peeks at my phone during work. I started taking longer lunch breaks to manage my trades. My supervisor noticed, but I didn't care. I was making more money in a day than I made in a week at that stupid job. The cryptocurrency journey was becoming an obsession, but it was a profitable obsession. My trading account was growing every week. I was learning about different altcoins, about DeFi protocols, about yield farming. The blockchain revolution was happening, and I was part of it. I started following crypto influencers on Twitter. These guys were posting screenshots of their gains, talking about their crypto trading strategies, sharing market analysis. I felt like I was part of this exclusive club of people who understood the future of money. My coworkers thought I was crazy. "You're going to lose all your money," Danny kept saying. "Crypto is just gambling." But Danny was still making $12 an hour while I was making hundreds of dollars a day. I took a cash advance on my credit card. Another $1,000. Then I opened a second credit card. Then a third. I convinced myself this was an investment in my future. I was building wealth, creating passive income streams. The Bitcoin investment community on Reddit was cheering me on. Everyone was sharing their gains, their success stories. We were all going to be crypto millionaires together. By June, I had about $8,000 in various crypto trading accounts. Most of it was borrowed money, but Bitcoin was at 64,000 and climbing. I was up almost 300% on my original investment. That's when I made the biggest mistake of my life. I quit my warehouse job. Summer 2021 was insane. Bitcoin hit its all-time high of nearly $69,000, and I was riding that wave hard. My portfolio was worth almost $25,000. $25,000. From a guy who had $300 in savings 6 months earlier. I wasn't just making money anymore. I was making life-changing money. I was finally winning at something, and everyone could see it. I moved out of my crappy apartment and into a nice one-bedroom downtown. I bought new clothes, got a better haircut, started going to nicer restaurants. I was living like the crypto millionaire I thought I was becoming. My dating life transformed overnight. I started dating this girl, Sarah, who was impressed by my investment success. She worked at a marketing firm, made good money, but she was fascinated by my cryptocurrency journey. "You're so smart," she'd say. "I wish I understood the crypto market like you do." I felt like I was finally living the life I deserved. No more warehouse job. No more boss telling me what to do. No more worrying about money. I was a crypto trader. I was an entrepreneur. I was someone who mattered. I started using more leverage, making bigger bets. Why settle for 10% gains when I could make 50% with the right leverage? The blockchain technology was revolutionizing finance, and I was part of it. My investing mistakes were just learning experiences, I told myself. Every real trader has setbacks. The key was staying disciplined, sticking to the system, not letting emotions control your decisions. I bought a course on advanced crypto trading, then another one on technical analysis. I was spending thousands of dollars on education, but I was making it back in days. Investment in myself, right? The crypto market was my playground. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano. I was trading everything, making money on every move. Even when I lost on one trade, I'd make it back on the next one. But here's the thing about leverage. It works both ways. And I was about to learn that lesson the hard way. September 2021. Bitcoin started getting volatile. Really volatile. One day it would be up 5%, the next day down 8%. The crypto market was becoming unpredictable, and my leveraged positions were getting hammered. I had a stop loss set at 55,000. Basic risk management, right? But Bitcoin dropped to 52,000 in a single day, and my position got liquidated. Gone. Just like that. I lost $4,000 in one day. For $1,000 that I didn't actually have. I stared at my phone screen for like an hour. just stared at it. The number didn't change. The money was really gone. Sarah found me sitting on the couch, just holding my phone. "What's wrong?" she asked. I couldn't even explain it. How do you tell someone you just lost $4,000 that you borrowed? But Bitcoin bounced back to 58,000 the next week. If I had just held on, if I hadn't used so much leverage, I would have been fine. This was just a temporary setback, I told myself. The cryptocurrency journey has ups and downs. I borrowed more money. Another credit card, a personal loan from my bank. I was going to win it all back, and then some. Because I wasn't just some random guy anymore. I was a crypto trader. I understood the Bitcoin investment game. One bad trade didn't change that. I was wrong. So very, very wrong. By November, Bitcoin was hitting new highs again. 67,000, 68,000. I was using 20-to-1 leverage now, making huge bets on every little price movement. When you're leveraged 20-to-1, a 5% move in Bitcoin means you either double your money or lose everything. There's no middle ground, no safety net, no second chances. I doubled my money 3 times in November. I felt vindicated. I felt like a genius again. Sarah was impressed. My parents were proud. I was the guy who figured out how to make money while everyone else was stuck in their 9-to-5 jobs. Then December happened. Bitcoin crashed to 46,000. My leveraged positions got liquidated. All of them. Every single one. I lost everything I had won in November, plus everything I had put in originally, plus the money I had borrowed to chase my losses. My trading account showed a balance of negative $1,200. Negative. I owed the broker money. Then January came, and Bitcoin rallied to 48,000. I could have made it all back if I had just held on, but I was already out of the game. No money left to trade with. So I borrowed more. Another credit card. Another personal loan. I was going to win it all back. I had to. This wasn't trading anymore. This was gambling. Pure and simple gambling. But I couldn't stop. Every loss meant I needed to make a bigger bet to get back to even. Every win meant I was vindicated, that I really did understand the crypto market. My credit cards were maxed out. I had 3 personal loans. I owed my brother $2,000. I was behind on rent. Sarah was asking questions. "Where's all the money going?" she'd ask. "I thought you were making money trading crypto." I started lying to her, to my parents, to myself. I told them I was just going through a rough patch, that the crypto market was temporarily down, that I'd make it all back soon. But deep down, I knew I was in trouble. Deep trouble. May 2022. That's when everything fell apart. Bitcoin crashed from 40,000 to 28,000 in a matter of days. The entire crypto market was collapsing. People were calling it a crypto crash, but for me, it was total financial annihilation. All my leveraged positions got liquidated. Every single one. I lost everything I had put into the market, plus everything I had borrowed, plus everything I had borrowed to chase my losses. I woke up one morning to find my trading account showing a negative balance of $8,000. $8,000. I didn't just lose my money. I owed money. The credit card bills were piling up. The personal loans were in default. My brother wasn't returning my calls. I was getting eviction notices. Sarah left me. She said I had become obsessed, that I wasn't the same person anymore. She was right. I wasn't the same person. I was a shell of who I used to be. I had to sell my car to pay rent. Then I had to move out of my nice apartment back into a crappy studio. Then I couldn't afford that either. I had to move back in with my parents. At 32 years old, I was living in my childhood bedroom, deeper in debt than I'd ever been in my life. The promised passive income had turned into active financial destruction. The Bitcoin investment that was supposed to change my life had ruined it instead. My mom didn't say anything, but I could see the disappointment in her eyes. My dad just shook his head. They had warned me about get-rich-quick schemes, but I thought I was smarter than that. I wasn't smarter. I was just another sucker who fell for the crypto millionaire dream. You want to know the worst part? It wasn't just the money. It was the shame, the embarrassment. Having to explain to my parents why their adult son was suddenly living in their basement again. I had to apply for jobs at 3 different warehouses. All of them. The same work I thought I was too good for just a year earlier. The same $12 an hour job I had quit so confidently. None of them wanted to hire me. Why did you leave your last job? They'd ask. What was I supposed to say? That I quit to become a crypto trader and lost everything? I finally got hired at a different warehouse, but for $10 an hour. $10. Less than I was making before my cryptocurrency journey began. The Bitcoin story I had lived wasn't the success story I'd imagined. It was a cautionary tale about greed, about believing in get-rich-quick schemes, about confusing luck with skill. I was getting panic attacks. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't eat. I'd wake up in the middle of the night thinking about all the money I'd lost, all the stupid decisions I'd made. I started going to Gamblers Anonymous meetings. Gamblers Anonymous. Because that's what I had become. A gambling addict who happened to use Bitcoin instead of slot machines. The other people in those meetings, they got it. They understood that rush of winning, that desperation of chasing losses, that feeling of being completely out of control. I wasn't alone in this. Apparently, a lot of people had similar cryptocurrency journeys that ended in disaster. The crypto market had created thousands of gambling addicts, and I was just one of them. It took me almost 2 years to get back on my feet. 2 years of living with my parents, working double shifts, putting every extra dollar toward paying off debt. Every month, I'd get bills from the trading platform, from credit card companies, from the bank. Minimum payments that felt impossible to make. Interest charges that kept growing no matter how much I paid. The crypto market kept moving without me. Bitcoin went down to 15,000, then back up to 30,000. I watched from the sidelines, but I didn't trade. I couldn't trust myself. I deleted all my crypto apps. Unfollowed all the crypto influencers on Twitter. Stopped reading Reddit. I had to cut myself off completely, like an alcoholic avoiding bars. I got a job at a different warehouse. Same work, but I was grateful for it. Steady paycheck, health insurance, normal human hours. Simple things I had taken for granted. Slowly, I started rebuilding my life. I moved into a small apartment. Nothing fancy, but it was mine. I started dating again, but this time I was honest about my past. I told people about my Bitcoin fail story, about how I had lost everything chasing easy money. Most people understood. Some didn't. That's okay. The people who mattered stuck around. I started going to therapy, talking to someone about my gambling addiction, about the shame I felt, about the fear of making the same mistakes again. It helped. Slowly, but it helped. Here's what I learned from my cryptocurrency journey, and I hope you can learn from my mistakes without having to live through them yourself. First, there's no such thing as easy money. None. If someone promises you passive income with no risk, they're lying. Period. The crypto market isn't a money-making machine. It's a market with winners and losers, and most people lose. Second, leverage is a weapon, not a tool. It can destroy your life faster than you can imagine. When I hear people talking about crypto trading with leverage, I want to shake them and tell them to stop. Just stop. Third, the crypto market is not predictable. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can consistently predict Bitcoin rise and fall patterns. The people who tell you they can are selling you something. They're making money from selling courses, not from trading. Fourth, investing and gambling are different things. When you're checking prices every 5 minutes, when you're borrowing money to trade, when you can't sleep because of your positions, you're not investing. You're gambling. And finally, your real wealth comes from your skills, your relationships, your health, your peace of mind, not from some magical Bitcoin investment scheme. The blockchain technology is real. Cryptocurrency is real. Bitcoin is real. But the idea that you can easily make money from crypto trading is a myth. A dangerous myth that ruins lives. I still follow Bitcoin sometimes. I read about blockchain technology, about the potential of cryptocurrency. It's fascinating stuff, genuinely revolutionary in some ways. But I don't trade anymore. I don't chase crypto millionaire dreams. I invest in boring index funds. I save money consistently. I live below my means. Some people might think I'm playing it too safe now. Maybe they're right. But I sleep well at night, and that's worth more than any crypto gains. The warehouse job isn't glamorous, but it's honest work. I'm back to making about the same salary I was making before my Bitcoin adventure, but I'm debt-free now. Actually debt-free. That feeling is incredible. I think about those investing mistakes all the time. Not with regret, necessarily, but as reminders of what happens when you let greed override common sense. I have a girlfriend now. Her name is Lisa. She knows about my past, about my crypto crash, about my gambling addiction. She doesn't judge me for it. She just wants me to be happy and healthy. We're talking about getting engaged. Maybe buying a house together. Normal things. The things that actually matter. Look, I know some of you reading this might be thinking about getting into crypto trading. Maybe you've seen those same ads I saw, promising easy money and passive income. Let me tell you something straight up. For every crypto millionaire success story you hear, there are hundreds of people like me who lost everything. You just don't hear about us as much because we're not making YouTube videos about our failures. The crypto market is real. Bitcoin is real. Blockchain technology is revolutionary. But the idea that you can easily make money trading cryptocurrency is a myth. A dangerous, life-ruining myth. If you want to invest in Bitcoin, buy a small amount with money you can afford to lose. Hold it for the long term. Don't try to time the market. Don't use leverage. Don't borrow money to invest. And for the love of God, don't quit your day job. I'm not saying this to be negative. I'm saying it because I care about you. Because I don't want you to go through what I went through. Because I don't want you to lose years of your life chasing a dream that's designed to take your money. The crypto market doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't care about your bills, your family, your future. It's just a market. And markets are designed to transfer money from the impatient to the patient, from the greedy to the disciplined. Don't be like me. Don't fall for the promise of easy money. There's no such thing. You know what's funny? I'm happier now than I was during my brief time as a successful crypto trader. Back then, I was constantly anxious, constantly checking prices, constantly worried about my next trade. Now I work my shift, come home, spend time with Lisa, read books, watch movies. Normal stuff. The stuff that actually matters. I'm not rich. I'm not famous. I'm not a crypto millionaire. But I'm content. I'm stable. I'm healthy. I'm in a good relationship with someone who loves me. That's success. Real success. Not the fake success promised by crypto trading courses and get-rich-quick schemes. I'm not saying you shouldn't take risks or chase your dreams. But make sure you're chasing real dreams, not just fantasies sold to you by people who profit from your desperation. My Bitcoin story ended in debt, but my life story didn't end there. I rebuilt, I learned, I grew. That's the real success story. The crypto market will keep going. Bitcoin will keep rising and falling. New people will keep falling for the same promises I fell for. But you don't have to be one of them. You can choose to be smart. You can choose to be disciplined. You can choose to build wealth slowly and steadily, instead of chasing the lottery ticket of crypto trading. If you're struggling with similar issues, if you've made similar mistakes, you're not alone. It's not the end of the world. You can come back from this. The shame will fade. The debt can be paid off. The lessons you learn will make you stronger, smarter, more resilient. But you have to be honest with yourself. You have to admit that you have a problem. You have to ask for help. Gamblers Anonymous helped me. Therapy helped me. Having honest conversations with family and friends helped me. You don't have to do this alone. What about you? Have you ever fallen for a get-rich-quick scheme? Have you made investing mistakes that you learned from? Have you struggled with gambling addiction? Share your story in the comments. Thanks for listening to my story. Take care of yourselves out there. Don't make my mistakes.